Good day, sweet world, and welcome to a very special episode of Games Over Plastic, a DLC episode where we're going to be breaking down the most recent PlayStation State of Play. And boy, I thought it was a good one. Before we get into the actual game talks, I just want to know how you guys doing, Hodge?
I'm doing good. I did not expect to have to record another episode within a week, but I'm happy to do it because I like talking games. So I'm excited to talk about the state of play. There's a lot of cool announcements, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Midnight?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here as always. State of play was pretty good. We're going to talk about it, and it's always good to just get together and just chop it up and with my boys here, have some fun.
Oh yeah,
got football later today. I can't wait. My Buckeyes play Michigan State tonight. I'm looking forward to that. So life is good.
Yes, should be a good one. But before we dive into the actual game talk, just a reminder that this is a very special DLC episode. So we usually record every other week, but this time we're coming to you very quickly, 1 week later. You can find our podcast, on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Zencaster. I don't know. That's what we're recording on. I don't even know. I don't really know. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Leave us a like, leave us a listen, leave us a comment, subscribe, do all that. Find us on Twitter or X, however you want to call it. Oh, X is going to be in a game title later on, so who knows? So yeah, that would be great. We would love to hear some feedback. Honestly, whatever you guys want to write. If you hate us, tell us you hate us. That's fine. That's fine with us. But you're hate listening, so that's good.
My parents tell me that every day, so I'm used to it.
Oh,
it's very sad. Sorry, Hodge.
All right.
Is that a PlayStation shirt? Nice. Very appropriate.
Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation, I have a kid, one of my students, he wears a PlayStation sweatshirt every single day, and I'm like, do you ever wash that? That's what I'm thinking.
Probably not.
Just go over and get a nice smell, get a nice whiff of it,
Mom probably washes it like once every other week or something. Forces him to throw it in with the rest of the laundry.
Yeah, it's nice PlayStation sweatshirt.
That wouldn't be creepy at all.
Just
go over there like Joe Biden, just start smelling on him like.
All right, on that note, we're going to get into the actual state of play. And it started off, I loved the intro, guys, with like the little Astrobots going everywhere. And that was just a preface to the first announcement, which was free DLC for Astrobot coming soon. Some speedrun levels here. I was pretty hyped to see that it was free. Hodge, I know you've loved Astrobot, so I would love to hear what you think.
Yeah, first, even before getting into the actual game itself, I had a feeling it made sense that they opened with it because this is such a fresh hit for them that just to start it off being like, look at who we have. Like, that was a very smart move by them to start it with Astro. But this itself, I might hop into it because the speed runs and the obstacle courses were the most difficult part of the game. So I don't know if I'm going to hop in purely to annoy myself like that. But with them bringing in the Stellar Blade and Helldivers bots, I kind of want to, just because I want to save the Helldivers bots because I love that game so much. But it was really cool they're just kind of capitalizing on the success of Astrobot, and it was smart to open up with it and to drop free DLC is pretty sweet. So I am all for it. I will probably hop in at least to try and save the Helldiver bot. Might not complete all of the maps or whatever, but yeah, I'll probably give it a look at the very least to check it out.
Yeah, you even got the leader of Team Asobi saying that this is not the only thing they're going to be continuing to support this game down the line, which is pretty cool to see. Given I could see a plethora of new Astrobots to rescue coming later. Also, I saw they threw in that Fortnite dance near the end of that trailer. God, that brings me back to like
floss or whatever.
2018. Yeah.
Yeah, granted that was a dance before Fortnite, but Fortnite definitely popularized it.
Know. Midnight, what do you think?
I know Katy Perry video or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting decision by PlayStation to start with this because it's just an update. It's a free update to an existing game. And I was like, okay, they're beginning the show with this. I'm like, that's kind of weak, but I understand why they did it though, because it is such a beloved game, a 94 Metacritic. And it is cool. It is cool that they're supporting the game with free content. So I think that's awesome. I know you guys are going to have fun, like you said, capturing all the hell divers and that little floss dance was ultra cringe when I saw that, because you guys know I don't like Fortnite, and the main reason I don't like Fortnite is because of one, the way it kind of altered gaming with the battle pass and the microtransactions everywhere. It and mobile combined, it was like a 1-2 punch, and also the annoying kids doing that particular dance. You know what I mean? So seeing that, I was like, oh god. But I don't want to be too negative. Astrobot is awesome. I'm sure. I actually am going to play it one of these days because I think it looks pretty great. So I think that's cool that there's more DLC. Wasn't expecting it for the opener, but hey, it's a great game, so can't fault them.
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, I'm excited to get to it. Like I said, I'm definitely going to get to it soon. But moving on, this next game has me really intrigued. And this new one is called The Midnight Walk from Moonhead Studios. Now, at first, I was like, what is this game? It was like claymation, and it appeared, the way they showed it, it was like all VR. So I'm like, this looks so cool, like the art style, but I'm never going to play it because it's VR. And then they confirmed you can play it on PS5. It's like that claymation art style just looks so cool, and you get that horror vibes, creepiness. These people created the Lost and Random, and then they also created something else, No Rest for the Wicked as well, which I've never played those games. I've heard good things, but yeah, this looks really interesting, and it seems like it's like a horror, like kind of platformer. It gave me really like Inside vibes. If you guys ever played Inside, where you're just kind of like walking around trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. What do you guys think of this one?
I'll start, I guess. Yeah, I when I saw it, like immediately for some reason, it was giving me kind of South of Midnight vibes. You know, the Xbox game from Compulsion. I think because it kind of had like that southern, I don't know, that southern twang to it. Maybe I was like, oh, what is this? I thought the atmosphere and everything was really cool. The characters are interesting, kind of cute, creepy looking. I don't know if I will play this or not. I need to see more of it. I need to see like what's really going on. But I definitely thought it was interesting. It's unique, and I like that. You know, a lot of games come out, they're kind of same-ish. This was definitely unique, and I like that they're doing their own thing. So I'll have to see more on that one, but it's definitely interesting, I'll say.
One thing I thought immediately though was I thought of Dreams. It reminded me of Dreams, like their initial Dreams reveal.
Mm. Yep, the masterpiece that was Dreams.
Hodge, what do you think?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I loved this. Thought it was gonna be like game of the show until one that we'll get to later. But because I am huge into the claymation look, I love it. Like Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, all these amazing movies that I love from the claymation look. So just the art style itself got me. When it was was showing PSVR, I was kind of like, damn it. But then they confirmed that it was coming to console too, so that really, really excited me. So yeah, I do kind of want to see gameplay because I don't know what it is from the look of it. It was just it looked kind of like a what's the tone setter kind of trailer. So I don't know what the game itself is, but I am very excited to give it a play or give it a look once I kind of learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you said, I'm really interested in this game. At first, I was like, oh, like this is gonna be like the game changer. It reminded me, like the looks of it just reminded me of, like I said, Dreams and Little Big Planet for some reason. I got those two vibes. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. Happy that it's coming to VR, but I will not be playing it on VR.
Yeah,
unknown.
It would be cool to try it though. If you did have one, it would be cool to try it.
Creep yourself out looking at these claymation creatures.
Yeah. Yeah. I also got like Little Nightmares vibes.
Yes, it does. Yeah, definitely. Release date unknown. But moving on to the next game. It's called Hell Is Us. So this is very similar. Again, another like supernatural kind of spooky style game. Maybe Sony's realizing, Halloween's around the corner. Let's get these spooky games out here.
Mhm.
It looks really interesting. A lot of it gave me like almost like a soul style type of game combat wise. I at first I'm like, is this gonna be like a Souls like game?
Mm-hmm.
But then like looking more at the combat, then I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like God of War, like the God of War combat, like when you're in the boss fights. I'm kind of interested in this game. It is coming to other platforms too. It's not just coming to PlayStation. What did you guys think of Hell Is Us?
Todd, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. It definitely grabbed me just from the look of it, because it starts off with kind of this like, it looks like this post-war torn like city, kind of modern day look, kind of, I don't know, some war had broken out or some
Yeah,
apocalypse kind of thing had happened. And
yeah.
then it cuts to like the Spot looking dude from this, the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, like those enemies. And I was like, was 100% in until we kind of got to the gameplay. To me, it kind of looks like a janky Souls-like. Like, it didn't look as fluid as other Souls-like games that I've seen. And so I was, when it was showing the fighting kind of aspect of the gameplay, I was getting like 67 on Metacritic vibes from it. Like, the appeal, like the setting and the tone looks all cool, but once it got to the gameplay, I was like, ooh, I don't know if this is gonna be it. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I'm not a Souls player, so maybe other people are like, actually, this looks very fluid and amazing, better than Elden Ring. I don't know, but so it could be great. I'm very interested in it based on the tone and like the world, but with the gameplay, I'd have to definitely see reviews or whatever or play it myself, like a demo or whatever, to really give it a judge. But based off the tone, I'm intrigued at the very least.
Yeah, based off the trailer, I'm thinking it takes place in Japan. They had a shot that looked like Ghost of Tsushima with all those I forget what the flowers are called, the colorful flowers on the ground.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but I know
yeah, it looks like it takes place in Japan. Also, when it first landed, like the guy you're controlling, I thought it was a Hellgas from Killzone. Looks just like him.
That's funny. Yeah,
Midnight,
I'm
what do you
watching the
think?
trailer right now, and it looks cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I was getting Japan vibes, but I did definitely see that scene with the bright flowers and stuff, and immediately I was like, "Oh, Ghost of Tsushima looking." I don't know where it takes place, but it definitely looks cool. I was kind of getting Death Stranding vibes from the way he has like that overcoat and was walking through the world. I was getting Souls like and God of War vibes from the combat. There was a bit, it looked like he almost had like a broadsword lightsaber, like that he was swinging around there. It almost looks like a bootleg lightsaber, but like a broadsword. It looks interesting though. I want to see more. Is going to be a common theme. I think I'm going to say a lot here. I want to see more. It looks interesting. It's a cool setting. It's a cool world. The combat looked pretty fun. So if they have, I don't know that we saw much, if any, of the story. So if they have like a cool story and a cool premise and a cool hook to get you in there of why we're going around that world, that might be something that I check out. That was one of the more interesting ones for me, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. No release date yet, so we'll figure out what we can see more. Next up, we did get a game with a release date, and it's coming soon, November 7th, 2024. We have a VR title, Metro Awakening VR, based off the novel Metro 2033. Now, I know none of us are really VR guys, so I've never played a Metro game either. I've never even read any of the books. One thing I noticed about this trailer that I cannot unsee is anytime I see a VR game with hands and they don't have the arms there, it freaks me out with just the hands flying around. I'm like, what are we, Rayman going around here? I couldn't get that out of my head.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, as we all know, none of us have VR sets, so none of us are gonna be playing it. But I tried the original Metro game, and I just got lost, and I ran out of ammo and just kept getting massacred. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't like this, so I just stopped playing. But it's a really cool world, and for those who have VR, it looks like it's not just an on the rail shooter or something like that. Like, it looks like a real game that you go through and play, but just in VR. So it's really cool for that. But even if I did have VR, I couldn't play it because I cannot do the walking in VR games because I get the motion sickness. So I have to always do the teleport version or whatever, where you can like point forward and you teleport to the next spot. So that always, it kind of breaks the immersion for games like that for me. So I don't know if I ever do get a VR, which I probably won't, I would maybe try and play it. But yeah, it looks cool, but yeah, I won't be hopping in anytime soon.
Yeah. I would say for this one, like immediately, I don't have VR and I have no plans to get VR. So anytime I see a VR game, I kind of tune out, like I don't care. But I did check this one out. I will say, if I had VR, this would be 100% must buy because, like Hodge was saying, this looks like a real game. Like this doesn't look like one of those janky, like VR experiences. This looks like a game that you play in VR. The graphics looked good. The gameplay looked good. I'm sure there's a creepy, nice story. Like it kind of was giving me, what's that Half-Life Alyx vibes that everyone loves that game because it's like a true VR game. This feels like that. So if I was a VR guy, I think I would be really excited for this. But since I don't have the VR, I kind of glazed over it. But yeah, shout out to Metro Awakening. I think VR might have one with that.
Yeah, hopefully it succeeds. Hopefully it does well with that name Metro. Maybe they're trying to bank on that. But since we can move on now to another game that reminded me of God of War, and that was ArcheAge Chronicles. It takes place in a high fantasy universe, third person over the shoulder action game where you're running through, you're fighting like mythical boss creatures, and there's villages, and you can seem to be crafting armor. Like I said, this screamed God of War cross Final Fantasy 16 vibes to me, with the whole like villages, and you go to like an anvil and you can see people like making armor and stuff. What'd you guys think of this one? I thought this one definitely, like I said, God of War. I think this one feels more like God of War than a Souls game. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess I'll start on this one. So this one I thought looked pretty cool. When the trailer first started, immediately it was giving me Witcher 3 type of setting, type of vibes.
Yeah.
Because like as he's walking through the world and you got like people hanging and random stuff, it just looked very Witcher 3-esque. And I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, you guys know I love my Western RPGs. Everyone knows that. So I was immediately kind of hooked by this. The combat looked very framey and it looked very unpolished, but the game's not out yet. I'm hoping that when it does come out that, you know, it's very smooth. This might be something that I check out. Also, when I saw the name here, ArcheAge, that kind of was a bit interesting to me because you guys probably don't know this because you're not big MMO guys, but MMO guys might know. ArcheAge, I'm pretty sure, is like an existing MMO franchise that was really popular, or at least kind of popular. And I'm wondering, is this the same devs? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's right at the end of the trailer, they throw up that PS Plus multiplayer required. So this is definitely, there's something in here where you can play with other players. Maybe during boss fights, it's similar to like Souls games, you can summon other people to your realm. It looked interesting though. Hodge, what do you think?
It was, it looked like a gorgeous game. Firstly, is kind of what I noticed the most out of it. But at this point, I remember I was watching it with my older brother. I went over to work on his AC, and then I just stayed to watch it with him. And I turned to him and I go, "Is every fucking game a Souls like now?" When I was showing the combat, and I was like, "It looks cool, but at the same time, it looks like one of those that everyone's gonna be like, oh, this is a really good game,' and I'm gonna be like, yeah, maybe I'll get to it one day, and then I just never will." And so that's kind of the vibes I was getting from it, and it looks cool, and anyone who's interested I'm happy for them. But I'm like, it just looks like everything else that's come out in the last 3 years, and I'm just kind of like, all right, I don't know. I'm just gonna move on to wait for the next game because I don't know. If you like it, cool, but it doesn't seem to be for me.
It screamed much more of a not a Souls game to me. I don't think, not that we know, but I don't think it's gonna be one of those games where if you die, you lose everything. You have to go back and find it, or you can only progress when you come back to like a fire pit or whatever. I think it, like I said, it screamed much more God of War to me. Witcher, I got the Witcher vibes as well with the fantasy aspects.
Yeah, Interestingly enough, I actually have some notes that I took while I was watching the show. And my very first note when I first saw this was Elden Ring at home question mark is what I wrote down because it was giving me Souls vibes too. I got that same as Hodge. The combat looked very Souls-ish. It also looked God of War-ish. Those are kind of adjacent somewhat. But yeah, interestingly enough, I looked this up. This is a Korean developer, which is probably why the graphics are so good. Those Koreans, man, they know how to make some beautiful games.
Didn't Koreans make Liza P?
I'm not sure on that.
I think they did. Yeah, I think they did.
I know they definitely made Stellar Blade. We know. But yeah, it is the same team that made the ArcheAge MMO, which was pretty popular. Came out in 2013. But anyways, Sean.
All right, moving on. Fresh off a lawsuit, we have a new game coming to PlayStation 5. New for the PS5 audience, we have Pokemon. No, just kidding. Palworld. So I never played Palworld. Did any of you guys play Palworld? I can't even remember. Hodge, you played it, right?
I very briefly, I played it for about an hour, and I just was like, I was playing alone though, because my other friends who were playing were all, you could only have like, I think 3 at a time or something when it launched. I can't remember what it was. So they were playing together and I was playing by myself. So I was like, this is cool, but I don't care. So I'm happy. This is another one of those where if people are playing it, still cool. And I'm happy that PlayStation fans get to play it, but I fell off and I'm not going to go back to it.
Well, they definitely got a bag from PlayStation because supposedly they're like doubling down on this marketing and they're like gonna create like a movie off of it. That's what like it was in like the that's what I was hearing. They're gonna make like a movie off of it, like a show off of it, some type of. They're really going into that multimedia, that Sony approach, and they probably need that money because they're about to get taken down by Nintendo, the Big N.
Well, isn't the legal thing because of like gameplay mechanics in it, not because of the copying of Pokemon or anything? Like it's
it's the gameplay
related.
mechanics, but the thing is, this game is not being released in Japan because of that. Because of this whole lawsuit, they're not releasing it in Japan, so it's already out now, but not out in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right on. Yeah, I didn't play Palworld, so I don't really care that much about this. I know this when it came out, I think it was on Game Pass even, and I still didn't play it. I was like, it looks interesting. It was big. It had a moment. Like it had a lot of players, like a lot.
It was like the second highest playing game on Steam of all time, or something like that.
Even on Game Pass, didn't it sell over like 10 million copies in like a month?
It was on Game Pass and it still sold really well. Yeah, this game was super popular.
Yeah, it's funny that Nintendo's kind of taking the Cat, I'm recording a podcast. Sorry. Nintendo's kind of taking the same approach that the U.S. government took with what's his name, Scarface. What was his real name? The Chicago gangster.
No idea.
Al Capone.
Al Capone. Yeah. Remember, they didn't catch him. They didn't get him on his crimes. They got him on tax evasion. That's how they locked him up. They couldn't get him on his crimes, so they got him on tax evasion. That's kind of what Nintendo's doing. They can't really get him on the trademark infringement for the characters, like for the Pokemon. So they're like, we'll get him on game mechanics.
That's funny.
But yeah, shout out to Palworld. Sony's doubling down while Nintendo's bringing the heat.
Yeah, I would be curious to know because they definitely had this wrapped up before the whole lawsuit thing came out. I would be so curious to know what the people at Sony thought. Like, oh my gosh, this lawsuit's coming out. We're about to announce this game for PlayStation. Oh my god, what's wrong with us?
Great timing.
Moving on. I know, right? Perfect. Moving on. Next up, this game got me so hyped. The Lunar Remastered Collection, 2 beloved PS1 games coming to PS5. This is Lunar Silver Star Story Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete. God, guys, I have loved these games, but I have not played them probably since 2004, 2005. I absolutely adore these games, though. Perfect, just like that 32-bit, 16-bit to 32-bit art style. It's like meshed between. There's like animated cutscenes in the game. Gosh, this game is like a delight for JRPG fans. It's totally inspired by those classic Square games, Square and Enix games. Like I get a lot of Dragon Quest from this. I get a lot of Final Fantasy from this. I even get a lot of Chrono Trigger from this. The art style is gorgeous. I am so hyped to replay these games because, like I said, it's been basically 20 years since I played either of them. What do you guys think? I know you love these type of games, guys.
Yeah, I got pretty much nothing to say. I've never, I don't know if I've even heard of these games, and if I have heard of
What?
them, I've definitely never played them. It just
It's
looks
so
like
cool.
some old fashioned weebery. Definitely not something that I was into. But I'm happy for the people who are happy. I hope they
Yeah,
enjoy it.
I'm so hyped for this game.
I think it looks awesome. I got such the vibes of like they had that song playing over with the singing. It reminded me of like a kind of a Ghibli vibe there with that, and then the gameplay. That 2D HD pixel art like look of that Octopath basically kickstarted. I love that look, and so I kind of want to give these a shot, but it's not something that I'm going to run out to play. But if they're ever in a collection or free to play or just on sale for cheaper, I may hop in because the they look really good. But it's just not something. I never played them originally or anything, so I have no nostalgia for it. It's just I saw it and I was like, ooh, cool pixel art RPG. It looks kind of fun. So maybe one day I'll hop into it. It looks really cool, and I do like the anime kind of cutscenes where instead of it being just like a standstill pixel art or whatever, they just have the animated. It's I love it, but yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I'll be definitely playing these day one. Definitely gonna go for the platinum. The stories in these games are amazing. Really, really character driven. Like very character driven. You have a huge party too, which is great. Not like you don't have 100
nice.
heroes like 100 Heroes
Suikoden.
Chronicles. Yeah,
Yeah.
Suikoden. But it is fantastic. All right, moving on to the next game. All you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, you got your wish. You got some DLC for Shredder's Revenge. This game came out 2 years ago, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you get the radical reptiles, who I've never even heard of. They add 2 new creatures
Nope.
alongside the DLC, and there is a new soundtrack that you can easily toggle on. So, somebody tell me about who are these radical reptile creatures that I should know about? Who are these guys?
Couldn't tell you.
I have
I'm a
no
big
idea. I'd never, never
big
heard of them.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan from my childhood. Watched the cartoons, watched the movies. Never heard of these dudes at all. This has to be a deep cut.
Probably some Nickelodeon content.
Yeah,
It's
maybe might have
probably
been after
something
my
that
time.
they probably made the characters 4 years ago and on some Nickelodeon show so they could
Radical
introduce
reptiles.
a chick turtle kind of thing, and I guarantee that's what happened. So I have no idea. I have no idea who they are. Though Shredder's Revenge was a very fun game. It brought me back to the old NES
Hmm.
Ninja Turtle games. So I loved it. I didn't beat it sadly because I was playing it co-op with my brother and he decided to just play it without me. So I just never went back to it.
How dare
So
he?
yeah, so I just never went back, but I loved it when I played it, and so it's cool that they're getting more DLC for the people who are still are going to go back to it. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely a blast from the past. I also played this game with my brother. We got on there and we were co-oping it up, beating up some people, cleaning up the streets, if you will. It was good times. It definitely brought back good memories of the River City Ransom, and of course the old classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those side scroller beat 'em up games, those were big in my childhood. And yeah, this is a good game. I love Ninja Turtles, so this was cool to see.
The only content I've ever consumed featuring Ninja Turtles is Shredder's Revenge, which I did play, which I liked. I didn't love it. I liked it. And any of the various Nicktoon games that I played that have the turtles in them. Your Nicktoons All Stars Brawl and your Nicktoons Racing. Those are the
Wait,
only type. I've never seen a cartoon, never seen any of the movies.
you haven't seen the movies? Dude, you need to watch the first live action movie from like 89, 93.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I don't
good.
I don't know what year it was.
I'll
I think it was
pass.
Dude, it's an
I
awesome
think it was
movie.
early 90s.
Wasn't it 92? Wasn't it 92?
Probably. Dude, it was an awesome movie, man. You should watch it. It's a
I'll
good
pass.
story. It's a good story.
I was a Power Rangers kid.
Well, you also told us originally that you would pass on South Park, and look how that turned out. You loved it. So
Yeah, it's a little
maybe you should
different.
listen
That's
to
a
us.
little different. They had an RPG for me to play.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, moving on. Next up, we got our boy Shadow the Hedgehog. He's coming to Sonic Generations, or and he's going to be tied in with the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack. It's going to be out December 12th to go alongside with the movie, and we have a special guest voicing Shadow, Keanu Reeves. He's coming in, our boy Shadow. Even though I've never played a Sonic game featuring Shadow. What do we think, all our big Sonic fans over here? Sonic's #1 fan, Hodge, what do you think?
Fan of the first movie, but dude, I watched this. It's very cool. I'll give it its bars first of having Keanu come in and voice Shadow to kind of tie it into the movie. That is very cool. I'm happy that they got Keanu Reeves to do that. But these Sonic games, ever since the Genesis, other than Adventure 2 on GameCube, I liked that game. But other than that, I've just never enjoyed a Sonic game. And when they show the actual gameplay where it's like this, the super fast and you bounce on the robots and then you keep moving, I'm like, I don't get who likes this gameplay. I'm sorry. If you're a Sonic fan, cool, but I just don't understand it. I don't get why people like like these games. I don't think they look fun. So yeah, I don't want to shit on it too much, but I don't get it.
Wow. Wow, such a hater, man. So negative now.
Mhm.
I'm also not a big Sonic fan. I do have an affinity for Sonic as a child, though, on the Sega Genesis, playing the original side scroller. That music is iconic. That dun, 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 dun. That was probably the worst rendition of all time. But that song is epic. I love the side scrolling Sonic. Good times. I haven't played any of the modern Sonic games. I don't really care. I also haven't watched the movies, although I've heard that they're really good. So one of these days I need to. But shout out to Keanu Reeves. I'm sure his performance is going to be breathtaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very breathtaking. As far as Sonic for me, I've played one Sonic game in my life. That is Sonic Advance. I got it as a birthday gift. Wasn't a big fan of it. I don't really like the I think the control. I think it goes way too fast, and I'm like such more of like a platformer guy that I was trying to focus on the platform. I'm trying to play it like it's Mario, and I'm like, no, this is not for me. But one thing Sonic does bring is the banger tunes. I love a lot of the soundtracks from Sonic, specifically the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack, which is just forever in my head because of my friends. But yeah, happy for all you Sonic fans out there who love Shadow. All right, next up, we have a game, Fantasian Neo Dimension. And we got to look at this back at the Nintendo Direct back in June, which we did a special DLC for, which I was joined by a couple guests. I was so hyped for this game back then. I'm even more hyped now. We got a closer look at it. This is like a standard JRPG. I'm pretty excited. Definitely going to be playing this in Japanese. What do you guys think?
Hodge?
I'm happy for you. I don't.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I saw the thing I liked is it had the very kind of realistic looking world that you walk through, and then you're kind of a little anime person walk through it. Like the stylistically, I like it, but I was looking at the gameplay and I'm like, this is not at all a game for me. So I'm happy for you, but I will not be playing this one.
Yeah, as the RPG lover that I am, who is planning on going on a Weeb arc at some point here, I have a bunch of Weeb games that I have never played that I got to get to, Sean, as we've talked about. You've helped me recommend some games that I need to get to. The Weeb arc is coming, guys. I'm a Weeb hater, but the arc is coming, and maybe I will be won over. This is a game that could be interesting to me. I might add this to the wish list, pending on the reviews and Sean's recommendation. Who knows? Maybe this is something that I will get to at some point. I did like the art style. I did like the overworld, and as they're walking around, the combat looked interesting. This game looks kind of indie-ish a little bit. That's not always a bad thing, though. There are some great indie games, Sean, as you and I love. We love Eternites, and that's definitely an indie game. I thought it was an amazing game, so that's not a bad thing. So I'll keep my eye on it. That's what I'll say.
The one thing I will say is there is a mobile version of this game. This is like an enhanced version of that, but it does look awesome. It's from a Hawaiian-based developer as well, which is kind of cool. I don't really get a lot of games out of Hawaii. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to this classic. It looks like a classic JRPG with a lot of heartfelt weebery, which I love. We all know that. Yeah, day one for me. I'm probably gonna play it on Switch though. But we'll see. Who knows? All right,
you
next
could play
up,
it on the Portal. You don't have a Portal, do you?
I'll probably play it on Switch.
There you go.
I do not have a Portal. Next up, we got the biggest flop of 2024 coming in. Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah, whoa. Chill out, bro.
That was a joke. That was a joke. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't think it's going to sell well, but that doesn't take away from the quality of the game. I'm just going to give it a midnight here. Dragon Age Veilguard. I know you're so hyped for this. What do you think?
All right, listen, people, listen. This is going to be the game of the year. Mark my words. It's not going to win the game of the year, but it's going to be the greatest game of the year. People who play this game and put aside their BS. Oh my God, it's so woke. I'm so mad. I hate those people. And at times I've even been those people, but it's just so annoying though how everybody runs with it. I get that it's weird and stupid that they added freaking mastic surgery scars, like nobody needed that, but who cares? The game is going to be awesome. Everything I've seen and heard about the game, people who have gone hands on with the game, they said it's amazing. BioWare is back. This is going to be a really fun game to play with an awesome story, and people are going to love it. I am a little worried, Sean. I am a little worried about how this game is going to perform, like you mentioned, because the hype is not there. There has been a lot of negativity around this game. Some of it is self-inflicted because BioWare has come out with some nasty, Marvel-esque, horrible trailers. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with some of their trailers. Like, they have not done a great job of selling or marketing this game. And then also you have the anti-woke crowd who's freaking out about the pronouns and about the titty surgery and stuff that's going on. I don't know if you've seen that, but people are mad about this. It's a small section of the community, but they're loud and annoying, right? And I just feel like there is a negativity around this game and there isn't a lot of hype, and that does concern me. My hope is that when the game comes out and the reviews come out, if the reviews are really high, like if it's getting like high 80s, 90s and stuff, and people are like, this game's awesome, I'm hoping people will give it a chance and play it. I do think this is going to be an awesome game. This game has to do well, because if this game flops, like if this game literally bombs, there is a chance that EA just shuts down BioWare and then we don't get Mass Effect 4. And everyone wants Mass Effect 4. I was just talking to Chris this morning, our boy in Discord. He just beat Mass Effect 3 and loved it. And we're like, oh man, they better not get rid of Mass Effect 4. But this game is going to be awesome. I'm 100% confident that this is going to be a really good game, but I'm not 100% confident that it's going to critically or commercially perform. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay, interesting. I will probably not be playing this. Unfortunately, I hope it does well for you. I hope it does well for all the fans. I know one game it will do better than, and that is Concord. Definitely, this game is going
Yeah.
to perform better than Concord. Hodge, I know you're the second biggest Dragon Age fan we have on this podcast. So, what do you think?
This is true. I know Midnight didn't even watch it, so I'm not gonna spoil anything that was about it.
I can't believe an Astro falls.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I started spacing out during it because it went on for so long. Yeah, the one when Angel comes down, you're like, wait, what? No, yeah, I was kind of spacing out because it went forever. It had this really long battle and a couple cutscenes, and I'm just kind of ready for this to be over because, yeah, I'm obviously not going to be playing this. I hope it does, like you said, I hope it does well for those who are going to want to play it, but I know I'm not going to. And so I was just kind of spacing out, waiting for it to end.
Yeah, that's the thing, actually. I didn't watch the trailer when it was live, but I watched Maddie's video about the show, and he was playing some of the trailer, and it's just another example of terrible marketing by BioWare. Like, that boss fight was not exciting to watch. Like, it was long. I'm sure it's fun to play, you know what I mean, when you're doing the boss fight, but nobody wants to watch like a 5-10 minute boss fight where you're just beating down a health stick. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good marketing.
Sponge. Yeah, it's just a bullet sponge enemy, and you're just sitting there watching people just cast their spells on, and I'm just like, okay,
they got to do better. But the game's going to be great, though. Anyways,
has BioWare not? How's their marketing been in the past for like Mass Effect and Anthem and the previous Dragon Age games? Has it been like terrible?
Honestly, I don't even remember that much. I think it's been better than this, I would say. Those games were all pretty beloved except for the last two. Of course, Anthem wasn't beloved because it had like no content, and not Dragon Age, Mass Effect Andromeda, the lazy face kind of ruined everything. It wasn't the best game ever. It was a good game though, but not great.
All right, I was just curious. Didn't really remember either. All right, moving on. Look at this. We have a game for Sean, then a game for
Ooh.
midnight, and now we got a game for Hodge. We got DLC coming to Alan Wake 2. It's called The Lake House. Hodge, I'm just going to give this to you because I know Hodge, the big Alan Wake fan. What do you think?
Dude, when I was, like I said, I was kind of spacing out during the Dragon Age part, so I was kind of sitting there looking at my phone and talking to my brother, and then all of a sudden, when that trailer ends, it just the screen was black, and then it was the beer. This isn't they just hear a voiceover of, this isn't the first time the Bureau's been to Bright Falls, and immediately, here's what for the video watchers, I was sitting there looking at my phone, I was just like, because I heard that phrase and I was just like, oh yes, here we go. And then it pops up a Remedy Entertainment game. So I was like, yes. And so then it's showing this, it's just a tone setter because obviously DLCs aren't that long. Like, especially Alan Wake DLCs, they're like an hour each. So they're not going to show a bunch of it. So it's just a nice tone setter kind of showing that something fucked up's happening. You're going to have to fight it. And literally as it was showing it, so it has this long pan down a hallway where there's a bunch of dead bodies, and during it I just turned to my brother, I go, this better not be a fucking shadow drop because I need to replay the game before I play this DLC. And thankfully at the end it just said October, so I'm like, all right, I have time, I can get back to playing Alan Wake 2 before this comes out because I want to replay it before this DLC comes out, just so I can have like a full love of it. But yeah, I'm so excited for this because yeah, as you guys said, I am the Alan Wake stan, and I am 100% ready for this.
Yeah, it was funny. I was taking notes like as I was watching the show because I knew we were going to be doing this here. And I sent Hodge, I sent you the screenshot. It was funny. So as my live reaction, like as I'm watching it, immediately I was like, Control ? And then I was like, Alan Wake ? And then I was like, Hodge is bricked up for sure. I know that. Like, I couldn't tell if it was Control or Alan Wake. I knew it was definitely Remedyverse immediately. But I was like, yeah, this looks cool. I still need to play the Alan Wake games. I plan on getting it to some point. Obviously, I've heard you go on and on about how great it is, and you're not alone. Almost everybody universally says that this game is incredible. So I need to get to it at some point. I think it looks awesome. I love the whole aesthetic of it, shining the little flashlight at them and then gunning them down, and the creepy vibes. Probably a good Halloween game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it this month because I want to get to like Evil Within or something, play a horror game that I haven't played before. But I'm definitely gonna replay Alan Wake 2 before this one comes out. And if you do get to him, Alan Wake 1, the gameplay is a little dated, but the story is so good that it's worth playing through anyway. But yeah, the Alan Wake 2 is just an amazing game all around. There's no arguing that. But yeah.
I think it's really shocking and disappointing that Remedy has said that they've lost money or that it underperformed. And I don't get it because the game looks awesome. It has amazing critical reviews. Everybody loves it. Why is this game not selling? I don't get it.
Because it's locked to the Epic Game Store, and PC people won't buy games from the Epic Game Store. They only buy from Steam. So
if it's on console too.
I know. I don't know why I mean, horror games though, they've never done great. Like Dead Space, they said it failed and it sold like 2 million or something like
yeah, even like Resident Evil games don't sell well. Like they don't sell great.
Horror is a very niche thing, and people need to not expect them to sell 10 million copies because they never will. Horror games aren't that popular. But it's so the fact that they say it underperformed, I'm like, I don't know. It's because it's on Epic is why it underperformed, but it definitely didn't flop, I wouldn't say. But
well, the good news with that is then when it inevitably does come to Steam, because I'm sure it will at some point, it'll probably have a big pop and a resurgence, and I'm sure all the Steam people will buy it and be like, yeah, we can play it now.
I really hope it does because, yeah, this game deserves so much love.
I'm sure it will.
I love
it. People know the game is good. Everyone knows it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from Alan Wake 2, we got another VR game, and it is Hitman World of Assassination coming to VR. This actually looks pretty cool. It's coming this December. Hitman games are so much fun. I love the Hitman games. Like they are fantastic to play. Just going in basically a sandbox and like you have here's your target, figure out what to do, and like they're infinitely replayable. This VR game did not have the problem with the hands, which was good. That didn't creep me out. So when you look down, you actually did see your arms. So I wasn't thrown off by that. But if I had a VR, I would so play this because this would be such a cool experience to like basically take the mantle as the hitman and just, hey, take out your target. Here you go. Figure out what to do. Hitman 3 in particular, I absolutely loved. I know they're all like meshed together now. Hitman 3 was the first one I played. Shout out to the Defining Duke crew back in the day when Defining Duke first dropped. Maddie convinced me to play Hitman 3, and I absolutely loved it. So what do you guys think of this?
Nice. Yeah. So the Hitman, of course, this is a VR game. So like we mentioned, kind of glazed over. But at the same time, I'm going to go back to what I said last time. This looks like a real game yet again. Dude, these VR devs are actually making games now. Like for the longest time, they were making experiences, right? It was just kind of like, tech demos. It was on rails. It was kind of musty. You weren't that interested, a lot of them. But these last two games, of course, we had Metro, right? And now we have this. These are like games. Like the graphics look good. The worlds are fully realized. It looks like you're really having true gameplay. This looked interesting. This is another one where if I have or ever get a VR, this is something I'll probably be interested in because it's cool to immerse yourself in the world, to try to figure out how you're going to take out your target in creative ways. I'm sure like with the other Hitmans that I didn't play, but I've seen a lot of, there's like all different ways to approach it, right? It's very replayable.
It's so good. The replayability value of the Hitman games is insane. Like there are countless number of ways to knock out your target, and like you can do one small thing different and it could screw up the entire outcome of what you're trying to do. They're truly awesome games.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts. I think it looks great. Hodge, go.
Yeah, that's why I've always wanted to try. I've never played a Hitman game, but that's why I've always wanted to try, because it's like a roguelike in the sense of every run is different, and I really like, because I mean it's like the same situation, but you can do it different every like that. So that's really cool. And yeah, it's the same thing as we said. It's an actual game in VR, but watching it, the guy's walking around stealthily. I'm like, I can't do it because I can't walk. I can't do the motion. It sucks, but it's one of those, if your stomach can handle it, then that's awesome, because it looks super fun. Like go through and assassinate people in VR, it looks extremely fun. But yeah, I can't do it, won't do it. And because I've said, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I said it when they announced the PSVR 2 before they announced the price. I'm like, well, I'll get one when it's on sale and I can play all my back compat. And then it comes out it's not back compat, and it launched even more expensive than the system itself. So I was just like, yep, guess I'm never playing VR, so or VR 2. So yeah, but it looks cool. So I'm happy for those who will play it.
What, as a random sidebar, what price would it take, Hodge and Sean, if you want, for you to buy into the PSVR? Like, let's say Sony came out and there was a sale. Let's say the PS4 VR is, what price would it take for you to maybe buy it? Like $299, less, more, what? Just curious.
It would depend if they finally got to the point where everything from PSVR 1 was back compat, I'd get it for $300, maybe even $400. But since there's no back compat, I would never go over $200 for one, because I lost my PSVR 1 library and it pisses me off. So I'm like, out of spite, I'm like, I won't do it for any more money than that.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
It would take me hitting a 10-team parlay for me to get the PSVR.
I hope you do today. 8-team. I think if it was like 300 to 350 and it had backwards compatibility and it worked on PC, which it might already, that was something they were working on.
They did, I think, add that.
Yeah, there's like a little part adapter you have to get?
Yeah, there's like an adapter you can buy, or you might have gotten it for free if you signed up for it or something. I don't know, but yeah, they added an adapter for PC.
At that type of price point, I think I would consider picking it up and maybe playing this Metro and this Hitman and stuff, because it looks cool. But anyway, it's just a random sidebar question.
Well, Sean? And actually that would work, because then you could play your whole Steam library from your PC. So that includes PSVR 1 games. So that would actually be a really good investment, since you're a PC gamer now, to do that. Yeah,
just a random thought I had. Sorry about that. But yeah, go ahead, Sean.
No. My dad does have a PSVR 2. I got it for him for Father's Day. The year it came. That was 2023. Yeah, 2023. I got it for him for Father's Day. He loves it. He loves his VR. Like I said, I've never used it. I have no interest in VR. That's why I haven't. He's offered it many times, but he specifically loves it for Gran Turismo, which he has like the rig and setup and everything. But he did text me when this got announced, because he's a big Hitman fan as well. and he said he's definitely going to play this day one. And this might actually, I might try it. You know what, I will try it when I go over there one day. I'll try it and let you guys know what I think.
Dude, VR is such a cool experience. You got to try
Never
it.
played it.
I've
Yeah.
never experienced it except for
dude.
Virtual Boy. Shout out Nintendo.
No, yeah, like it's something. It's so hard, like especially when you watch it on like a trailer because it's just the fixed camera. But when you're in the world where you see everything around you, it is such a cool experience. Like you do feel like you're in those rooms, and so yeah, it's definitely an experience worth trying.
All right, moving on to the next game. It's a remaster, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remaster. Now, I have never played these Legacy of Kain games, so I am kind of like, what is this? It definitely screams like or late PS1, early PS2 vibes to me. What do you guys think? Did you guys ever play these?
No, this was always the character design was always iconic for me in the 90s. I remember seeing like him not having the bottom jaw and all that. Like it is such an iconic game design that it was curious why it took so long for them to bring the character back, because when I think I never even owned this game, but when I think of PS1, I think of this game because it was such a cool character. And so it's really cool that they're bringing it back. I might hop into it if it's ever kind of a cheapish game, because I'm not going to spend like $50 on 2 PS1 ports basically. So, but other than that, it looks really cool. I'm happy. Hopefully it sparks the love for it and they bring out a Soul Reaver 3 or something in the future. That'd be really cool. But this one, it didn't hype me up when it dropped because I saw it leaked before the show, so I knew it was coming. So it didn't hype me up really, but at the same time, I was like, it's nice that they're exploring an old IP and hopefully it reinvigorates something in someone. But
yeah, I really have nothing to add to this. I never played the original games, and looking at this gameplay, it didn't really do a whole lot for me. I don't think I'll play these. I'm sure they're great, no disrespect intended. I just don't think that this is something that I'm going to get into. So I'll just keep it brief, keep it there.
I had never even heard of these games until like 2012, to be honest.
Oh,
yeah, I never even heard of them. No idea. All right, moving on to our next game. We have this game called Fear the Spotlight, another spooky game. It's coming out this October, the 22nd. It's available on PS4 and PS5. Definitely has like PC adventure game written all over it. It seems like it definitely seems like it's going to be like a shorter experience, something that you could be interesting to play with a group, because it's like kind of like that spooky adventure game. Like, what's going to happen next? What are we going to do next? I did think of you, Hodge. I know this probably doesn't scream you, but the spookiness got me. What do you think, Hodge?
Dude, I was digging this like crazy because it has the old PS1 graphics. And so even though I don't have any nostalgia for the old RE games or Silent Hill, I didn't play any of those games. I didn't play horror games as a kid, really. So I don't have the nostalgia of the exact PS1 horror, but I love horror games and I had the PS nostalgia. So seeing these graphics, I was like, it reminded me of the game I played recently, Guilt. I recommended it when we did our backlogs and recommendations episode. It was like a horror game where you're a kid and you're kind of in a school setting. So it gave me that vibe, but with the PS1 graphics, I was like, oh, this looks really freaking cool. So it's one of those, it's like if it's a cheap on sale kind of buy or something, but yeah, I'm definitely not dropping, 40, 50, 60 bucks on this game, but it definitely it stuck out to me enough that I definitely want to try it one day because of that aesthetic. So
yeah, I think this is unique and I like that they're doing it. I like that they are creating a game with that old PS1 Nintendo 64 like aesthetic. I think it's cool, but I don't think this is something that I will play. I'm not a massive horror guy to begin with, and I just I have to pick and choose my games very carefully because I have 800 games that I want to play. So, but yeah, shout out to this game. I like that they're doing something unique.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to bring us to our next game. And this is another game in the high fantasy realm. This is Tower of I don't even. How did you guys even pronounce this?
Ag- Ag-
Agabasa?
Aghasba, Aghasba, I think.
Aghasba.
Aghasba? I don't even
Aghasba.
know. But it's going to be entering early access in November. This is very interesting. They really focused on the like the village building aspect and building up your community, but there's also, it looks like it's like a third person over the shoulder game where you can go out and hunt and defeat monsters and catch fish and
Mhm.
get food for your village. So a little interesting. It's an early access, so I'm not really sure where this is going. What do you think, Midnight? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is interesting. This is something that I may not play, probably won't play, but I could consider playing it. I mean, I want to see more of this. It did look interesting. It's like a cross of genres, like you mentioned. It looks like you had kind of like the cozy city builder, maybe almost farming type stuff in here. And then there is combat. At the end of the trailer, I noticed that they had the little Zelda thing where you jump off and you got like
Yep.
the little the
Breath of the
little
Wild
freaking
glider.
parachute thing and gliding and stuff. So I mean, that's cool. Definitely something I would need to see more of to see if I would want to play it. Of course, with me, it is harder for me to play a bunch of games because I'm so backed up. But I think it looks cool. This is something that I think people should check out. We need to see more of.
Some of the menus, though, one of the menus when it seemed like they were picking up resources. The menu looked just like Horizon. It looked just like Horizon with all the resources. So just
maybe
putting
it's
that out there.
maybe it's in Decima engine. I wonder. You never know. It's PlayStation published, isn't it? Who knows?
I don't know.
Hodge, what do you think?
I thought it was a gorgeous game. I was very intrigued by the look of it, but the second they did build your settlements and it shows them build like a house and planting fruit, I'm like, I'm out. I'm sure there is a game out there where I could do that and enjoy it, but I'm like, I don't. It doesn't appeal to me. This one doesn't. So it's as gorgeous of a world as it is. It looks like they're creating a really cool, beautiful universe, but the gameplay is not my gameplay. So I probably will never. I guess I can't say confirm it that I'll never play it, but I don't have any plans to play it.
Yeah, it is not a Decima game, by the way. I was curious and I looked. It's Unreal Engine 5. But anyways.
All right. Well, moving on. Next up, we got some Lego Fortnite news coming to you. They're adding split screen for all you Lego Fortnite fans. I didn't even remember. I must have known at some point, but I forgot that Lego was a thing with Fortnite. Hodge, have you played the Lego mode? Because I know you're the number one Fortnite fan.
Yes, I'm only 12 years old. No, I did. When they launched it, me and some friends jumped in, and it's just kind of one of those like survival games, like State of Decay, where you go and you build your camp and all that, and then you go out and there's enemies you kill and you get resources, go back to build your camp, and it's that kind of game. And it was fine, but it wasn't something I was ever going to invest too much time in. I'm happy that they're adding split screen for the kids who, play it at home. Like if someone, their little brother, little sister, whatever, they want to play some Lego games together. It's really cute for that. But yeah, I played it very briefly and it's fine. But Fortnite, I just like the battle royale aspect of it, really. So. And then that controller is the ugliest fucking controller I've ever seen in my life. So there's that too.
You're not gonna get
Where
that
are we
day
dropping,
one.
bro?
Hodge, I have to ask you, who is Peely and Fish Stick? Who is that?
They're just two of the. I don't know the lore of Fortnite. They're just skins. I don't know. There's a banana peel guy. Banana peel's been around for a few years. They invented the skin as a joke, and everyone thought it was funny. So now they've just overused it all the time. He's basically the mascot of Fortnite. So. The fish one.
Speaking of Fortnite, related to Fortnite, but last year I had a student who was so obsessed with Fortnite. We had a creative writing assignment, and he wrote his whole story on the Fortnite world and the Fortnite lore, and it was interesting to read. That's all I'll say.
That's funny.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to stick on this any longer.
I guess I'll just say that I could not care any less about this. So we'll just keep it moving.
All right. Next up, we have a Dynasty Warriors game. Seems like we used to get these every year. Not so much anymore. Dynasty Warriors Origins coming out Friday, January 17th, 2025. This is a Musou game. Classic of the classic, Warriors ilk, where you're going in, you're fighting 9,000 enemies at a time, probably more than that. If you're playing on Switch, your screen definitely lags and it goes to 5 frames per second. Shout out to Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors. But Dynasty Warriors, guys, what are your thoughts? Have you ever played one of any of these Musou games?
No, I've never played a Musou game. I've never really had interest in a Musou game. When I look at it, I'm kind of like, why is this fun for people to be overpowered and just beating up 100 people at once? But apparently it is fun because these games are popular and they keep making them. So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just stupid and maybe I need to try one of these days because there might be something there. They keep making them. People love them. So maybe I need to put aside my preconceived notions and hating and just try it out one of these days because there might be something there. I don't know. I've never played it. This didn't do anything for me, but one of these days I might try one and see.
You should play Fire Emblem Warriors because you're such a big Fire Emblem fan.
I do like Fire Emblem. Yeah. Is that a Nintendo exclusive, I'm assuming, since it's Fire Emblem?
Of
if it
course.
comes to Switch too, then maybe I will.
Hodge, before you go, I have played one Musou game in my life. I played Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U back in the day, and did that run poorly? Is to put it.
What about? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't know if Hodge was going to say something. Wasn't there a Persona one, right? Strikers.
I've never played it. Never played that.
Okay, my friend DLB that I talk about, he played Persona 5 Strikers and he thought it was pretty awesome. So I think that's a Musou type game. Maybe I'll try that one day.
I used to play, I don't know which one. There was one that a buddy of mine had on PlayStation 2, so every time we'd go over to his house, we'd play it. And they were fun, but I don't know anyone who plays them anymore. I don't know. When I was watching my brother, I was like, we were kind of watching this, and he goes, who plays these? And I go, probably Chinese people or something. Like, it's got to be just one of those that's huge in Asia somewhere. There's just some country that is obsessed with it, like the next game we're going to get to. There's just a country somewhere in this world that's obsessed with it, and that's what keeps it alive, is what I think. I don't know a single person who plays Dynasty Warriors anymore.
Fun fact about, you mentioned China and being really popular in Asia. Freshman year of college, I took this intro to Chinese history class. That was the only thing I could fit on my schedule. This one kid in there was so obsessed with Dynasty Warriors. Like, he played them all, and he got an A on everything. He's like, oh, I know about the entire, he would read the I guess you get like documents in the game and you can like read through the history of China, and he knew everything before the class even started. It's like, oh, I got it all from Dynasty Warriors. I'm like, all right.
I was right though. It's definitely China.
That's awesome, dude. Shout out to that guy. Hope he's doing well.
Watch. He was from Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know. He was from a suburb of Chicago. I'm not sure which one.
There's a lot of them, so
yeah,
sure.
Not sure which one.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Next up, we have Monster Hunter Wilds coming out Friday, 28th. Oh, February 28th. It's a Friday. I've never played a Monster Hunter game. I know people absolutely adore these games. I played the Monster Hunter that game that came out earlier this year that I cannot remember its name. Grand Blue Fantasy. I played that, and I actually really liked that game. Why couldn't I think of the title? That was kind of like a Monster Hunter game. But this trailer had me intrigued. The monster design looks pretty cool. And I might actually check it out, given that how much I enjoyed Grand Blue. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I've never played a Monster Hunter game myself. I know that these games are insanely popular, especially I think in Japan and stuff. These games are huge, but I've just never got into it. I don't know why. It does seem like something that I would probably like. It's like RPG adjacent, but I've never got into it, and I don't know that I will for this one either.
I've never. I remember specifically saying to my brother while this was playing, I just turned to him, I go, who likes this? I don't get it. I've never been attracted to any of the Monster Hunter games, and now they have like cat characters. I'm like, maybe that's why they're trying to get the Western audience, put some cats in there. But yeah, I don't care. I've never understood the love for Monster Hunter. They don't look fun to me. I'm sure they are. I don't know, but not for me. Not going to play it. So for those who want to play it, who like it, Good for you.
Not gonna lie, I used to get Monster Hunter and Dragon Age confused when I was younger.
I don't know how, but all right.
Used to get them. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, dragons are monsters, kind of. So there you go.
That is true. Yeah, dragons. All right, moving on. Next up, this game has me hyped. I'm getting this day one, November 14th. It's Lego Horizon Adventure. That's what it's called, right? Lego Horizon Adventure, or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lego Horizon
Horizon
Adventures. Yes.
Lego Horizon Adventure. I almost called it Lego Horizon Zero Dawn, which would have been fine. People wouldn't know what I was talking about. But it's basically the Lego version of Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm really excited for this. I love you guys. We've talked about it before how much I love Horizon. I do love me some Lego games. This looks really cool. I think it like there's such much more of like a Horizon's kind of a heavier topic. We're gonna post-apocalyptical, the end of the world. This kind of seems like a more lighthearted version of that. I like the music for it, and they also showcase that you can play as different minifigures like Sackboy and Ratchet. So I'm assuming there's going to be some more PlayStation variants. Wouldn't shock me if you could play as Astrobot. That would be pretty cool. Lego Horizon, what do we think? Day one.
Hodge, you want to go first?
I'm not hyped for this by any means, but I am intrigued. So as I've said on here before, one of the biggest like traditions I have in games is that me and my older brother play every Lego game together. Just it's ever since we were kids, we'd always play them. So whenever we get together for a holiday or whatever, we try and play one through. And we've been playing the Skywalker Saga one for years now because that game is a million years long. But
Great
this
game.
one is kind of the one where we're like, we might play it one day. It's not this highest selling point is it's online co-op, so we don't have to be in the same room to play it for the first time in Lego game history. So we might play it for that reason, but I've been saying this for a long time. Like I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it's a fantastic game. I'll try and get back to Forbidden West one day. But I don't understand why Sony thinks that this series is bigger than it is. Like I just don't understand the spin-off aspect of it. Like, yeah, keep playing Horizon games, but the fact that like, and there's a TV show, there's a Lego game, we're adding her to fucking Mortal Kombat or something. I don't know, but like, I just feel like they're overestimating the reach of this game with this, and I don't want to knock Lego Horizon Dawn or Horizon Adventures for it, but it just feels cash grabby as opposed to like if they were to try and make something else a Lego game that has more of a history. So it just, I don't know, it just seems like they're really trying to make Horizon more of a thing than it is, and that's just kind of, and with the next announcement I definitely double down on that feeling. But this game, it looks fun, it's cute, but yeah, it's like the least hyped I've been for a Lego game yeah, probably ever. So I don't know.
I think
it looks.
I think
fine.
Horizon's a lot more popular than the online Twitter gaming sphere says. I think the general public enjoys Horizon more than we think.
Yeah, I don't ever feel anyone talking about it when people talk about like legendary PlayStation IP. It's like God of War, Uncharted, Last of Us. I feel like no one says Horizon, but I don't know.
I mean,
it could just be
it's
me.
relatively a newer franchise.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I think they think it's bigger than it is, but I don't know. I guess it has. Someone said all of the games together sold 30 million or something like that, but I mean, they also bundled it in with the PlayStation 5 when it was hard to find, so it might be a little inflated, but I don't know. This game might be fun. I don't know. I might play it one day. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play this, I don't think, but I do think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks very cute, very whimsical. It looks fun. It looks like something that younger gamers would enjoy a lot. I think it looks cool. If I was a Lego gamer, if I was a bit younger maybe, or had a proclivity towards these types of games, I think it's something that I probably would play. I have no hate for it. I think it's cool. I actually am more interested in this Lego game than the next one we're about to talk about, which segue, I guess, Sean.
One more thing before we segue. I guarantee 10 million copies sold for this game.
For Lego?
Well, yeah, it's going to Switch.
Yeah, more on Switch.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
'cause,
and then
yeah.
next up we have continuing Horizon Zero Dawn. We have a Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, $10 upgrade fee for those who own the PS4 game. Then you can play it on PS5 with new trophies and uh, kind of new graphics, kind of new, some new stuff. Unfortunately, I know it's terrible, but I will be paying the $10 because I do want to replay this game, and I will get all the trophies.
See, but that I don't have a problem with. When they do the $10 upgrade, at least it's just a path to basically pay for a patch to make it next gen. I'm okay with that. That's definitely the least egregious. But like it's shit like Last of Us Part 1 where they just remastered a game for the second time and then released it for $70 where I'm like, no, that's not happening. But the $10 upgrade path, I've never really had a problem with that because you're paying for their time to make it a better game for the next gen. So like I don't hate that, but it is dumb at the same time that they are remastering a game that's less than 10 years old. I don't really get that, which is again in the thing of, is this game really that popular that people are asking for a game that's playable on PS5 to get a $10 upgrade on PS5? So I don't
It's
know.
funny you say it's funny you say less than 10 years old because there's been a ton of games that have been remastered that are less than 10 years old.
I agree, and it's all dumb.
So when hang on, so ready? When the original Ratchet and Clank collection, Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper all came to PS3, they were all less than 10 years old.
Yeah. I didn't buy them. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, like I understand. Like, and I've been a hypocrite. I bought the remastered Last of Us after I had already owned it on PlayStation 3. I'm fully
Me too.
aware of my hypocrisy, but I'm just saying, I just don't. And again, I don't mind the $10 upgrade. I don't mind that at all. But I just don't. I don't see that this game, which is playable, and that's the other thing is PS3 games are locked on PS3, and PS2 games couldn't be played on PS3 after the first.
PS2 games could be played on PS3.
After the Spider-Man one, they couldn't. Once they moved on past the Spider-Man console, they couldn't anymore. But yeah, it just I don't know. It just seems it's money grabby, but at the same time, if it's just the $10 upgrade fee, I don't have a problem with it because that's your choice to upgrade it to play better on the next console, even though it's already playable. But that's why I'm not too offended. It's just weird that of all the remasters that people do ask for, they're going with this. So I don't know. When's Knack Remastered coming out is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So let me I get some bars in here. I will say a couple things that you guys just mentioned. Like I also bought the Last of Us PS4 remastered version. But I will say I think that's a little bit different though, because like you kind of hinted at, the Last of Us 1 was a PS3 game and it came out at the very end of the PS3 lifecycle in like 2013, I think.
Came out the same year the PS4 launched, yeah.
Yeah, so them making a PS4 version made sense and it wasn't backwards compatible. The PS4, you couldn't play PS3 games on it. So a lot of people got a PS4 and maybe they had never played The Last of Us yet because it came at that tail end and you couldn't play the old version, so they needed a new version. It made sense. This doesn't really make sense because you can play Horizon Zero Dawn right now on your PS4 or PS5, and it already looked pretty gorgeous in my opinion. I don't have a problem with the price point. It's $10. That's fair. You know, nobody's freaking out about $10. I have a problem with the practice of what I consider to be wasting developer resources and time for something that's not necessary when we could get something new and hot. But hey, I don't run Sony. Obviously, they know what they're doing. They're making a bunch of money. So what the hell do I know? I'm just an idiot who records a podcast and works in insurance. So what the hell do I know? But I don't know. I just feel like this is kind of wasty. But I mean, it looks cool, and the price is not egregious. So I'm not super mad at it. I'm not going to beat them up. But
maybe that's why Halo 5 was so bad, because 343 wasted all their time on that Master Chief Collection.
That's completely different.
Halo 5 was bad because the plot was terrible.
The Master Chief Collection was something that was needed. That's 4 games brought to modern platforms all together. They just needed to make it actually work is what they needed to do.
What was that? What was originally included in Master Chief Collection?
Halo 1, 2, 3, and was Reach in there? I forget.
It was a 5-year-old game. Okay.
Yeah, it was Halo 1 through 4.
Okay. One of the games was 5 years old. How old was Halo 1, Sean? It was quite old.
Okay, but Halo 3 and Halo 5, Halo Reach were less than 10 years old.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine, but I'm just saying, like, that was a whole collection, and it was pretty sweet. So, if it worked,
you could play all those games on your Xbox One, couldn't you?
I don't think back compat
probably, but by them bringing it,
then.
Yeah, I don't know.
They hadn't introduced back compat yet.
I don't know, but by them making this is a multiplayer game, so it thrives on community. By them bringing a modern collection that everybody has, that makes it so that you can actually find lobbies in games. Like if you just booted up Halo 1 on your Xbox One, if you could, I imagine that the matchmaking community would be pretty small on that. So
yeah, I just looked it up. I just last thing I just looked it up. Xbox One back compat started November 12th, 2015. The Master Chief Collection came out
2014.
Right around that time, I know that.
I thought Master Chief Collection was for 2014.
Oh, it was 2014. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was 2015. Oh well. Oh, Halo 5 was 2015. But to what Midnight said, maybe if they weren't wasting their time, maybe Halo 5 would have been good.
Yeah. They just needed new writers for that game because
that game needed help.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right. Moving on to some DLC announcement. We have Stellar Blade getting DLC that's going to cross with Nier Automata. I never played Stellar Blade. I do plan on playing it before the end of this year. I do own it. But Nier Automata is a great game. Fantastic JRPG that I actually absolutely blew my mind back in 2017. It was right there, runner-up. I was right there for my Game of the Year that year. It was in the conversation. What do we think about this? Actually, one more thing. When I originally saw Stellar Blade, I immediately thought of Nier. So, like, this is like a perfect combination.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is there any connection to these studios? I wonder why they did this crossover. Is it just because of the aesthetic?
I'm not sure why. There's no connection because Nier is owned by Square.
Yeah, and it was a Platinum game, right?
Yeah, it's Platinum, but published by Square. Yeah, and they own the IP.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is cool. I do like, Nier is a beloved franchise. Everyone loves 2B, the cute robot, if you will. Always see her. And then you have Stellar Blade, of course, those masterful cheeks. The plot is amazing. I do want to play this one day. I do. I don't own the game. It is on my backlog. And why not play this plus the Nier collab when it comes out together? So I'll wait. And this is something that I think I will eventually get to. I think the game looks cool. Also, I thought I got a kick out of the fact that they added the photo mode because I can just imagine what the degenerates out there, these dudes are going to be looking up stuff. They were making some very cool, wholesome pictures in the trailer, but these gamers, they're not going to be doing that. All right. See, Sean is so excited for the photo mode. He's dropping stuff. All right.
Yeah. I thought it was a cool little crossover. I've never played either game, but yeah, I'm happy for those who want that crossover. It's cool. I don't, but yeah, I do want to play. I was just gonna say I do want to play Stellar Blade sometime. I just have had no desire to drop anything for it.
I forgot Stellar Blade came out this year. For some reason, I was thinking it was a 2023 game, but yeah, it came out this year. Totally forgot.
It's been a good year.
Yeah, it has.
It has.
All right. Moving on. Next up, we got the PlayStation Plus games for October. We got Dead Space Remake, WWE 2K24, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus starting on the 1st of the month because the first Tuesday is October 1st. Yeah. Last of Us 1 Part 1 is also joining, which is good. So your little PS5 remake is coming for your PS4 game. It's coming. Perfect timing.
Just all I have to say about this is play Dead Space. Do it. It's so good. It's so freaking good. Play it.
Yep. Play Dead Space for sure. Play The Last of Us because that game is a masterpiece. The first game for sure.
Play Doki Doki Literature Club. That's
play Doki Doki.
I actually am going to play that. I've heard it's awesome, so I'm going. I've heard it's very messed up, so I'm going to play it. I am going to.
I played it like years ago before it even came to PlayStation. I played it. It was a mobile game. I played it on my phone because I heard how good it was, and I'm like, wow, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. The fact that it's coming to this is awesome.
Also, yeah, you mentioned here that they showed the color themes and stuff. I just have to say, I'm a big fan. Purple's my favorite color. I love purple. I'm a purple guy. That prismatic, chromatic purple or whatever that they showed off was beautiful. I love that.
You are not a purple man. Don't lie to us.
I am a purple man.
Were you a big Barney kid? Big Barney guy?
Nah, I don't. I was too old for Barney.
I know,
Too
but
old.
you love purple, so I don't know if you were one of those guys who were like, you're probably like, what year? How old were you?
I remember
Barney
his.
came out?
I don't know.
Right.
I remember his stupid
Middle
theme
elementary
song though. I love you, you love me. Isn't that Barney? I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah,
I want to punch that donut.
Fun fact about Barney, I never watched the show as a kid, never did, but my cousins had a Barney Super Nintendo game, and I remember trying to play it, and it was supposed to be like a 2D platformer, and it was so bad. It was such like you jump on a platform and you just fall because like the hitbox, so like for the platform, the landing zone was so bad. Oh my gosh, Barney the game.
There you go.
I was all about Barney and banana and pajamas.
All right, that's all I got.
Blue's Clues kid right here.
Oh, Blue's
Yeah, no, those colors did look sick though. Some of them, yeah. Next up, we had a continuation of the Mark Cerny Power Hour. He came on to discuss the ever so powerful PS5 Pro. Just showed off very, very brief snippets of games that are going to be enhanced by the Pro. Honestly, I wasn't really shocked by the games they showed. I figured they'd all get Pro enhancements. I mean, that's the point of the PS5 Pro. Unfortunately, none of us got lucky and could secure one of those PS5, PS1 themed bundles. Unfortunately, I tried. Shout out to those who did get it. That was awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, we had a couple
Hodge, you got the
friends who
controller,
got it.
right?
I expected like one guy. What?
Yeah, we had quite a few
You
in
got
our
a controller,
Discord.
right, Hodge?
Yeah, I got the controller, and I'm very excited for it because I just got it from Best Buy. It went up at the same time, so I didn't have to wait in the queue. I just bought it from Best. I did wait in the queue though. I secured an Edge for someone, but someone else got it for him, so now I just have it, and I might just flip it. I'm not sure.
Wait, you have the Anniversary Edge?
Uh-huh.
Dude, just keep it. The Edge is awesome. You need it. You'll love it.
Maybe.
You don't need to flip it unless you need the money. Otherwise, keep it and have fun.
Well, I play shooters on Xbox, so I don't need it.
Yeah, but Xbox doesn't care about you anymore, so you might as well switch.
I mean, I might switch over because I was looking at like the Pro and the game that we're going to talk about next, the final announcement. It was like the first one that made me think like I kind of want the Pro to have that bitch run as well as it could. So we'll see. But yeah, I was bummed I couldn't get the 30th. I was going to try, I did try, but it was sold out by the time I got on there.
All right. Next up, the final announcement. The one last thing. It's the sequel to the beloved Ghost of Tsushima. We have Ghost of Yotei. And little do we know, Jin Sakai is no longer with us. This takes place many, many years in the future.
300
from the game, not future from us. Future from the game.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Midnight, have you ever played Ghost of Tsushima? It's pretty good.
Yeah, let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, we are so back, boys. It's over. This is Game of the Year 2025 or 2026, whenever it comes out. This is going to be the best game ever. I cannot wait. I was so excited. I was fully bricked up. Definitely was so excited. I lost it. As soon as I saw that Sucker Punch logo, as soon as I saw those beautiful grasslands and the colors, I was like, we are back. It immediately took the state of play from a 6 or a 7 out of 10 to a 12 out of 10 for me. We made it, guys. This is going to be the best game ever. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I will be there day one. I will platinum this game. It's going to be freaking awesome. And I might play it again when it comes to PC eventually too. I'm going to beat it twice. As far as Jin Sakai, I know some people were mad because they were like, oh, they teased a sequel. And they kind of did a little bit. But it is what it is. The way I see it with Jin Sakai, I love Jin. You guys know I love Ghost. I love Jin Sakai. I truly feel like his story ended in a very good place. Without spoiling anything, Jin Sakai accomplished his goal. He paid a steep price. And I feel like his story ended at a great spot. We didn't need to continue his story. Now, do we want more Jin maybe in the future? Sure. And we might get it. Who knows? Maybe the third game. Maybe they go back and we have a Jin Sakai in a third Ghost game. But I'm not mad that they skipped ahead. I'm not mad at the female protagonist. I'm all about that. I think it looks awesome. When I first saw the female protagonist, I thought that it was Tomoe. Anyone who played Ghost of Tsushima, the first one, Tomoe was the renegade archer person that Ishikawa sensei was after. She had like the cool mask and stuff. I thought that maybe it was her because it looked a bit like her. But it's not her because this is apparently like, what was it, like 300 years in the future?
I think 300 or 400 years.
300.
Yeah, so definitely not her. She's not still living. But I think it's awesome, and I am just so beyond excited. I'm sure when you guys saw this, you probably immediately knew that I was gassed up. I was trumping the meme. I'm gonna come. Oh my god. And you know who else is excited? Sean's alarm. It's so hot. Ghost is so hot that it set off the smoke alarm. Right. Hodge, what did you think?
Yeah, I'll go while Sean's house burns down.
All set. It's all good.
I was super hyped, yeah, because I did not expect it, because I had heard a couple leaks before the show, so there were a couple things that happened where I was just like, oh yeah, I heard that this was rumored, but I didn't hear anything about this being rumored to being shown. Mm-hmm. So when it popped up, they showed the mountain, and I was like, there's no way this is good. And then that Sucker Punch logo pops up. I'm just like, what? I was one of them who was I was bummed it wasn't a continuation of Jin Sakai's story, but I don't care that it's a chick samurai. I do care that the actress who plays her is unbearable, but it's not going to affect the game, so I don't give a shit. This game looks, but the one thing I was bummed about, it doesn't look super like next gen. Like you could kind of tell the difference between Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I don't see much difference between Tsushima and Yotei or whatever how you pronounce it. So I'm hoping that it's just kind of the compression of the trailer or whatever, on YouTube, and then I have a feeling it'll probably look better on the PS5. But from the trailer, I was kind of bummed that I was like, I was expecting this to look way more beautiful, even though Ghost of Tsushima is peak. Like it looks gorgeous, that game. So I'm not surprised they couldn't improve on it too much, but I was kind of bummed that it wasn't like a jaw-dropping, like beautiful looking game. But I'm sure it'll look good on the PS5 when you actually get your hands on it. So I'm not too bummed about that. But yeah, I'm so pumped.
Yeah. One thing about the graphic thing, that might be mainly because Horizon Zero Dawn was a 2017 game, so it was an earlier PS4 game, where Ghost was like a late PS4 game. So I think Ghost looks much better than Zero Dawn. So I think the difference between Forbidden West and Zero Dawn is to me is going to be greater than the difference between those two, just because Ghost was essentially right on the precipice of PS5.
Yeah, and I guess the last time I played Ghost was also on PS5 when I got the Iki Island DLC, so it could just be that I'm remembering it being better because it did look better because that was the director's cut version of the game, so it could just be that as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, Locke was saying that he kind of thought that Ghost of Yotei might come to PS4. So who knows? Maybe that's why the graphics weren't quite as stunning as you were expecting. We'll see, though. I thought it looks gorgeous. It always does.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought that it would come to PS5. I mean, obviously it's different studios, but when they brought Jedi Survivor to last gen, I was just like, really? They're going to bring that to barely performed on the current gen?
I think that's EA trying to recap some funds, because those games are not selling well. The Star Wars games, they're not selling well.
Yeah, it's possible, but yeah, that's just kind of what I thought about with that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's PS5 only, but yeah,
it will be PS5 only. Calling it right now.
All right,
Sean, did you give your thoughts for it? I didn't hear too much.
Yeah, I'm excited. I liked Ghost a lot. I thought it was a really good game. I'm not like I wasn't like over the moon for it like some people, but I do still really enjoy it. I am looking forward to the next leap. Many people know I do usually find sequels better than the original. So I'm hoping that this captures me like that. Not that I was down on Ghost of Tsushima. Again, Ghost of Tsushima, great game. I will be interested to see that if this is like Ghost of Yotei, if they do make a Ghost of Tsushima 2, like after it, they call it Ghost of Tsushima 2, and it's a continuation of the Jin story. You don't think they'll ever do that? You don't think so?
Well, I don't think they'll call it Tsushima because the story of Tsushima Island should have ended. But they might make a continuation of Jin's story, but I don't know if they'll call it Tsushima because it would probably take place on mainland Japan, you would think. But who knows?
He still could be called the Ghost of Tsushima, like the guy.
Well, that's
you know what I
that's a
mean?
good point.
That could be his title.
Ghost of
fair.
Tsushima takes back New York.
Yeah, definitely. No, I am interested to see where they go. One more thing I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? I can't remember. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool. Oh, I remember now. They did say that there's going to be more choice and consequence, similar to Infamous. So that should be really interesting to see what they do with that. That was one thing I was a little disappointed in with Ghost.
Yeah,
the lack of choice and content.
Yeah, because when they first showed off Tsushima, they talked about like, are you going to be the ninja or the honorable samurai? And they just
really
kinda,
didn't make a difference.
Yeah, and they just kind of
They
ditched
do
it.
either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my only complaint that I had about Ghost was that there really wasn't any agency or choice in it. Like they had their narrative and that's what it was. But so that I am excited to hear if they are going to have more choice and consequence.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
But yeah, looks good. Really excited. Great way to end this showcase. Great way to end a great showcase.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic showcase.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Let's say if you had to sum it up. What's your give me a sentence about the showcase that would sum up your thoughts.
Since it's a state of play and not a showcase,
that's what I meant.
Yeah. I'm just saying that this is my one sentence. This is a very ongoing sentence. Since it was a showcase instead of since the state of play instead of showcase, my expectations were a little lower. So it was very good as to what I was thinking was going to happen. I didn't think we'd see very much first party at all. So the fact that they announced a huge sequel to one of their best games was a very nice surprise. And of course, anytime Alan Wake shows up, I'm gonna lose my shit. So obviously that got me there. But yeah, like Midnight Walk, I'm excited for that. It looks cool. And there's a bunch of games that I maybe wouldn't have been too excited about, but I am now. So yeah, it was a great show. I enjoyed it. I want more. Give me more games.
My one sentence is that we're back. That's it. Ghost is back, so therefore we're back. Dragon Age was here and Ghost was here, so I'm happy. I thought it was good. This wasn't a showcase; it was a state of play, so therefore I wasn't expecting 10 out of 10 bangers across the whole thing. We got a pretty good assortment of games for a state of play. This was very solid.
Yeah, this state of play was amazing, given that it was a state of play. It wasn't a showcase. They showed a lot. Like you guys said, I didn't expect for a state of play to see like a tentpole franchise get a sequel for PlayStation. In addition to that, we saw a plethora of really cool third-party games, some actual VR games that, people who are VR players are going to be like, whoa, this is an actual game, not a tech demo. I got some JRPG love in here. Hodge, you got your Alan Wake. Midnight, you got your Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age Wild Hunt or Monster Hunter Dragon Age, whatever that is. Just messing around here. I know what it is now. But yeah, overall, really good. Really excited. Can't wait to see what goes on. Gaming just keeps getting better.
Hell yeah.
It sure does. It sure does.
All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap up the show. This was a very special episode of Gamesoverplastic, a DLC, as we like to call it, coming in the off week of our regular show. This was on the state of play for PlayStation. Let us know your thoughts on the state of play of PlayStation. Leave them in the comments. Leave them on the Twitter, on the Facebook, if we even have that. We don't have a Facebook, and we probably will never. Leave it on Twitter. Leave it on comments. Leave us a review on any podcast service. Give us a like on YouTube, please. And that's gonna do it. So everyone, we're gonna say bye.
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 See ya.